Hey guys, Ash Lane here, coming at you today finally with my point 5 video. This is going to be about the viability both now and in the future of the point 5 upgrading system. But before we get into my suggestions for using point 5 upgrading system in the future, let's go over 3 quick points that will help set the table for the rest of the episode. So if you guys missed it, you should watch the companion episode to this episode. It was, I think, 3 videos ago. I'll link it below in the description, and it explains the official algorithms behind matchmaking that I got from Supercell for the first time officially. So basically, in a nutshell, offense and defense are an even 50-50. We already knew the offense was weighted, but we never knew that it was officially the same exact weight as defense. And also on the Clan War map, the War loot bonus and storages, they all only reflect the defensive strength of the base. The second thing is the upcoming weight changes. It's important to note that max level troops and Grand Warden, along with on defense, Eagle Artillery and Infernos, will now weigh dramatically more. And lastly, the third point is the point 5 system. Just in case someone's tuning in for the first time who doesn't understand the concept of it, I'm just going to briefly explain what point 5 upgrades mean. So it's not an exploit, but rather it's choosing to focus on offense while ignoring defense at each town hall level throughout the progression of the game. Now the thought process behind this is that you have the opportunity to have a perfect attack twice per clan war because you get 2 attacks and you only have 1 liability to have a perfect 3-star attack against you. So that is the thought process behind the point 5 upgrades. Giving you a stronger offense will give you a stronger opportunity, sacrificing the 1 opportunity to 3-star you on defense. Overall, you're supposed to potentially get an advantage from that if you have a bunch of point 5s in your clan. Now let's transition to what this actually means going forward. I told you last video about the matchmaking process. While obviously number-based system at the core, the algorithms behind this, there are some important concepts to get across today in this video. It's not as simple as adding up the clan's strength and then matching that number to another clan of similar strength. It's actually a little bit more complex than that. I won't get into every nitty-gritty detail that the dev team shared with me, but think of it this way. It's a large system of dozens of check marks, and the war system is trying to check as many of those boxes as possible in order to match 2 clans in war. We're going to focus on 2 of those check marks today in this video as it applies to point 5. First, the newest checkmark in the system will now care a little bit more about matching based on the top of the map and a little bit less about matching the bases at the bottom of the map. Now, matching bases still matter in the algorithm, but it's just a greater impact if one clan has 1 more or less Town Hall 11 than if one clan has 1 more or less Town Hall 8. So that's going to be a new checkmark. But secondly, and the main point of this video, is that there's one checkmark that cares about the overall balance a clan has in terms of individual bases being relatively even in their offense and defensive weight. Let me put it this way. Clans that are evenly balanced town halls are easier to match precisely, and therefore they're more likely to get a much more even match overall. So, what is my advice going to be going forward regarding point 5 upgrading? So, a quick disclaimer here. Everything from here on out is only my advice. You as the individual, obviously you can believe what I'm telling you, you can stick with your guns, you can do whatever you want. But to me, in light of what I've told you officially in the first half of this video, the next half is going to be pretty obvious to most of you. And that is, drumroll please, that I'm going to advise to totally abandon point 5. Well, maybe 95% abandon. Why? Well, first, let me go ahead and address what I think might be the most obvious comment below in favor of point 5. And that is, well, Ash, you're telling us that offense and defense are evenly weighted. So doesn't that mean that if I just don't build this really, really heavy Eagle Artillery, then I'll still game the matchmaking very slightly in my favor because of the 2 attack, 1 defense philosophy? And that's actually not going to be the case anymore because of that checkbox that I told you about. Sure, you might be gaming the system a little bit in your favor, but just as likely you're making your match less ice and hurting your team. So is there any case where I would advise someone using the 0.5 strategy or prioritizing offense over defense? There actually is. I'll still continue to do my own upgrades, and I'll advise my clanmates to do their upgrades, focusing on offense first on like a day-to-day basis, because of having, for example, a 5th spell. If you upgrade your spell factory at Town Hall 10, it's much more valuable than, say, building one level 1 Inferno tower. But in the overall scheme of things, I'm not going to advise people to progress through the game totally neglecting defenses for months upon months at a time like people used to in 9.5, 8.5, 9.5, and 10.5. Now this especially applies to 8.5s because there is no absolutely huge, heavy defensive structure at Town Hall 9. There really is no reason to hold off on building expos anymore. I would advise totally abandoning the 0.5 idea at Town Hall 9 or 8.5, and then focusing maybe on prioritizing the really important upgrades offensively. Army Camp, certainly, Spell Factory, another one of those. But then as it comes to troops and stuff, you can go ahead and start building your defenses. So, to recap, I'd now recommend upgrading as evenly as possible while placing a small priority on these game-changing offensive upgrades. The individual defense and offensive upgrades carry a respective weight, but it's a smart idea to keep things as balanced as possible in order to get that fair match. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that if every single one of your bases is perfectly even in terms of offense and defense, that you're going to get that perfect match. It's just going to be much, much more likely. Because remember, I told you there were actually a lot of those check boxes on the war-making algorithm, but that's one of them. So that's one that I really feel does have, and I cleared this by the team, and they agreed. Balanced bases is the best way to get an even war match. So no rushed bases and no 0.5s if you want an even war match. So guys, first of all, I feel like I owe you a little bit of an apology because I've been an advocate for 0.5 in the past, and part of that reason is that we've never had these, this information behind the whole war algorithm, the whole war matchmaking. And in a lot of ways, because of the 2-in-1 philosophy, the 0.5 system did seem to carry an advantage. And while it still does, we had no way of knowing about that check mark, about that checkbox that gave you a bigger advantage for having a balanced base. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I know it got a little bit technical there in the middle. I hope you were able to make it to the end of the episode, and I hope you found this useful and valuable going forward. So good luck to all of you guys in your wars. If you have any questions about your individual upgrades on your base, go ahead and comment below this video. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm having a tough time keeping up with all my comments lately, but this video I'll be sure to respond to any questions that people might have regarding, if something didn't come through 100% clear in this video because there was a lot to get to. I'll go ahead and clarify in the comments below. So guys, I hope you enjoyed. Again, best of luck to you all, and thanks for watching. As always, take care, guys.